Hey everyone, this is your friend the Black and White Breakfast Bear Panda style, and patch 4.0 of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 just came out. And they brought in tons of changes and new content. And this is what I want to talk about today. I dived into the new operations mode termination immediately after I downloaded the whole patch. And from my experience, it doesn't offer something completely unique in terms of objectives, but it does allow you to shoot giant cannons on the boss's face, which is the Hierophant, Tyrannid Hierophant Biotitan. I think that's the complete name, at least how I remember it. So, but I also felt like clearing this mission relies more on coordinated teamwork than the other missions in operations mode. Because when you get into the boss fight, one guy will aim and shoot at the Titan, while the others need to keep the mobs away from the shooter. It's a simple team-based mechanic that's not too complicated, and still fun to play with. So yeah. And then the next thing I want to talk about are the gameplay changes and quote unquote the balancing tweaks. So the devs changed the fencing melee weapons parry window, indicating that they now have the same duration as balanced weapons, but the timing will start from the first frame of the parry animation. I did not understand any of that, honestly. So, but fencing weapons are my thing. They're my favorite melee weapons in the game, from power fist to chain swords to the combat knife. And I didn't feel any significant changes when I'm playing it. I still execute my parry, or I still time my parry the exact same way as I did before, and it still connects. So I don't know. I'm not sure what changed, but if you guys notice anything, just let me know in the comments. I really don't know what changed. Oh, they also increased the damage of the charge attack of the chainsword, power fist, and combat knife, which is a good thing. Though I only have that charge attack on the knife. I didn't get it on the other weapons. Also, the bonus damage of the Auspex scan was reduced by 30%, and the Melta Bomb damage to bosses is reduced by 70%. So no one can, you can't just spam the bombs and then detonate it all at once just to get by the boss fight real quick. So they also did some changes in the enemy spawn directions, but out of all that three, the only thing that caught my attention was this one. Extremist enemies can now spawn with additional enemies. So, I guess that means that they'll now have backup when they spawn or something. But I'll get more into that later. There are also PvP changes in the game, although I haven't tried them yet. But let me just flash it on the screen here. It says that there will be an increased delay between announcer messages in PvP. The starting animation of the grapnel launcher for the Vanguard is shorter in PvP, so you won't get caught. So you won't have to die before you get your grapnel launcher launched, I guess. I haven't tried it. And they also fixed Power Fist in PvP, dealing too much damage with short charge attacks. Well, they are kind of OP pre-patch, so yeah. I still haven't dived into PvP yet, but maybe I'll notice the changes when I get there. I'm having too much fun in operations lately. All right, another welcome change in the game is that they now added photo mode for your operations journey. So you can now flaunt your custom Space Marine or custom Astartes and just do a little photo shoot in the stages. But you can only do this in solo mode, so you can't enter photo mode when you're online playing with your squad. So yeah, it's a nice addition, especially for people who love to take photo shoots in game, trying to have all these cool stuff, or do all these cool stuff while you're purging Xenos and heretics. So yeah, that's a really, really cool change. Good job on that. Thank you very much. All right, so now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the bullet economy in ruthless and lethal difficulty. You'll now have limited refills for every ammo crate you use, so you no longer have unlimited supplies of bullets whenever a cache is nearby. This is probably the most damning change, as the ammo supply in the game is abysmal. Like, you won't get that much bullets in the game And personally, I can manage switching between primary, secondary, and melee, but I also want to just blast enemies away with my melter gun or spray them using my heavy bolter. I don't want to be, completely anxious trying to look for bullets because I can't kill the entire mob because I know, I can't use my gun anymore. I mean, it's a horde shooter game, so you kind of like need tons of bullets to get rid of the mobs and, just mess them all up. It also kind of feels good doing that, so, I don't want, I don't want this game to just be overly complicated. Like, give me the gun, give me the bullets, let me shoot some stuff. So yeah, but I do understand the whole point of making the game more challenging, especially in higher difficulty levels like ruthless and lethal. But in my opinion, like, the Xenos and heretics already hit hard and they outnumber your entire squad. The least the devs can do is have more, just give us more bullets. But to be fair, it's not like they totally screwed you over. You'll just notice that the boxes in the crates will deplete in number every time you grab them, and their depletion rate relies heavily on the type of gun you use and how many bullets you spend. I also noticed that it's not it's only unique to you. Like, when you grab bullets from the ammo crate, you're the only one depleting it. Your teammates, you don't share that with your teammates. They have their own supposedly ammo crates. I find it hard to explain in English, so forgive me. Anyway, so now let's talk about the game's lethal difficulty. Bullet economy aside, lethal difficulty is completely brutal, but not impossible to beat. In general, mobs hit harder, are built tougher, and come in more numbers. Majority's enemies can now become enraged, and you'll notice that when they have a red glow or cloud over their faces, and when they're in this state, they'll have more damage and increased defense, and they don't stagger as easily. So be careful when you see that indicator in front of the majority enemies. You're also forced to stay close to your teammates because you won't regenerate armor when you're far away. There's this new indicator right here that determines whether you're far away from your squad or not. When it's red, you won't recover armor, so make sure to keep an eye on it and stay close to your brothers. There are also two other changes I noticed that wasn't in the highlight announcement or the patch notes, or I didn't see it in the patch notes. One is that enemy waves are more frequent, and there's no visual warning that it's coming. The UI right at the top of the screen. You'll have to rely on the alarm to know when the wave is coming. Two, you'll most likely encounter two types of extremist enemies in a single wave. You can encounter a Lictor and a Ravener at the same time, or worse, two Zoanthropes and a Lictor or a Ravener, whichever one comes close. And they'll come along with the wave, so they have backup, and it's going to suck so bad when this happens. If you guys are not coordinated, you are going to get wiped. But if you do manage to survive, it's the feeling is exquisite. It's great. It's great when you survive that kind of horde. Anyway, the devs also mentioned you'll get new cosmetics when you finish lethal difficulty, and I have yet to do so. I already ran it 3 times on the new map content, and we got obliterated during the boss fight. It's a really tough difficulty. It's a huge difficulty spike from ruthless, and a slight mistake in team coordination will definitely lead to a wipe. Personally, I like the new challenge, even though I'm not a fan of the ammo crate changes, and I'm hoping the devs at least try to find newer, more immersive ways to improve the bullet economy. I don't know if the unlimited ammo crate thing isn't working out. And they also said something in the patch notes here. So with patch 3, we have noticed that operations mode became noticeably easier, especially chaos operations. We are happier with what we have right now compared to what we had on release, because before patch 3, chaos missions were unpopular. Still, we think that currently operations mode is a bit too easy. Overall, these changes are going to make operations mode harder, but it is difficult to measure by how much. We will continue to monitor those changes, and we will continue to adjust the balance of operations mode. this is not the last change. So at least they're open for, you know, maybe they're open for discussions or make more favorable adjustments in the near future. I don't know, but for now, I'm still okay with the changes. Like there's some good things and there's some bad things, but you know, it's not entirely game breaking. So anyway, what do you think about the new patch notes or the new updates for Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2? Let me know in the comments.